Hey y'all, it's Robert, and in today's video, I'll be making a dinosaur cake. And this is basically a character cake, but it's the first time I'm making a character of my own imagination. So that means there's a lot of room for error here, and I'm hoping I'll be able to pull this off. I'm using vanilla confetti cake, and I'm leveling and torting each one. And I'm using 8-inch cakes for this. Because I'll be carving this cake, it's really important that I add simple syrup so that this cake does not dry out as I make it. I'm stacking the cake with vanilla buttercream, and because I'm using so many layers, I'm making this a double barrel cake. I'm cutting 4 dowels the same exact size and then inserting those into the cake, and then I'm placing a 5-inch cake board on top before I continue to stack the cake. Now here's the tough part, and that's carving the cake into the shape of a dinosaur. I'm using a serrated knife to do this, and I'm cutting along the top of the cake to create the head of the dinosaur. And I want this dinosaur to look like it's sitting down, so I'm carving the front legs into the cake. Now I'm adding a crumb coat of buttercream before I add the final coat I'll be adding later. For the final coat, I'm covering the cake with chocolate ganache, but first I have to make it. I'm using a 3-to-1 ratio of chocolate to cream and mixing this all together until it's smooth. And for this cake specifically, I'm using 6 cups of chocolate chips and 2 cups of cream. To add the ganache to the cake, I'm using a piping bag because it's a lot easier and a lot less messy to do it this way. And because of the shape and the curves of this cake, I'm using an acetate sheet, and this is going to help me smooth out the ganache way better than a cake comb would. After the ganache is set, I can now start adding the modeling chocolate. I'm using white modeling chocolate to create all the features of this character, and then I'll be adding the color to it later. The good thing with modeling chocolate is that you can easily blend seams together, and you can add more onto the cake, and this is really helping me with adding the back legs and the tail of the dinosaur. Now I'm adding more modeling chocolate to create the facial features, and I'm using modeling tools to mark the mouth and the eyes. To make the plates on the back of the dinosaur, I'm using different size star cutters and then placing the points on the cake using piping gel. So the cake is all modeled, and it's now time to start adding color to it. I'm using edible paint for this, and I'm adding a diluter to it to get the right consistency I need to start painting. Because I'm freestyling this cake, I really don't know what color to go for, but I think a really bright green would be a really good choice. And for the belly, I think that yellow would be a really good choice to complement the green of the dinosaur. To keep the colors of this cake really bright, I'm using hot pink on the plates, and I think the hot pink next to the green really makes this cake pop. Painting the cake is one of the most fun parts, but it does take a long time because I have to be careful with where I add the color, especially when I'm painting the eyes. Painting the cakes is one of the most fun parts, but it does take a long time because I want to be really careful with where I add the colors. And I'm adding the claws onto the legs by using white modeling chocolate. To add more detail to the eyes, I'm using white paint for reflections, and this will help bring a lot more expression to the character. The last step is to add the teeth, and I'm using white modeling chocolate to do this. So here it is. This is the friendly dinosaur cake complete. So this is the first character cake that I completely freestyled, and I love the way that it turned out. And now I'm thinking that this dinosaur needs a name, so comment below what you think it should be. And if you like this cake, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you have any cake ideas for me in the future, make sure you leave those in the comments below. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next video.